Well, you guys really know how to make extra work for me. I asked you over on Instagram whether or not I should plant these beautiful Syngonium together or separately, and you guys said separate. That means I have to pot up 4, you guys, instead of 1. Thanks a lot. Actually, it's okay. Maybe we'll both get our way and I'll pot up 2 separately and then 2 together maybe. Look, you guys, I only have so much space for plants. I gotta combine them. I gotta put them in pots together so that I can fit more in, you know? I know you feel me. These guys all need to be repotted regardless, so it's fine. Let's get to repotting. I'm gonna give you care tips as we go, and then you'll figure out why these guys are my absolute favorites. In case you don't know me, I am Rosetta with Rosetta Grows, and I have an indoor jungle, I've got an outdoor jungle, and my goal is to give you tips to help you keep your plants alive. I have all kinds of plant videos which do come out on Fridays, so there's something fun to look forward to, and just a lot of freebies that are going to help you keep your plants alive. I think you're gonna like it here. Stick around, please hit that subscribe button and ring that bell so you'll get notification when the new videos come out. So Syngonium podophyllum Arrowhead Vine, and it gets the arrowhead because the leaves look like arrow shaped, the arrowhead shape. But as they grow older, actually, in fact, the leaves become lobed in 3 lobes. So these are all juvenile plants. All 4 of these ones are. And I better just get started since I have so much work to do. As you guys have probably heard me say, these are my favorite. A little root bound. Not bad, not bad. These guys are seriously my favorite, Syngoniums are. What is your current favorite? Now, I know that favorites can change, so I know it's an ever-changing thing, but what is your current favorite? Let me know in the comments below. And these are just my favorite because they're so easy to care for. And, oh, you know what? Let me get my soil up here. Today I'm using regular potting soil with additional perlite added for drainage. These guys like a lot of drainage. They're aroids, right? So they don't want to be sitting with wet feet. They're typically growing on other plants. They're growing up out of the soil, so their roots, you know, aren't really in deep, wet soil. So we want a lot of drainage, and I also put in some worm castings for fertilization. I just love to grow these. I think they're so easy, especially like along the lines of a pothos or a philodendron. They're going to take almost any kind of light that you give them, mostly medium to bright, and they will really thrive. They're vining plants, so they're going to vine and go crazy, especially in bright, indirect light. They're going to really, really grow. But even in medium light, they're still going to do just fine. And you can have these guys growing on a moss pole. You can have them growing up a stake. They're going to go crazy. They stay kind of bushy and full, but grow up, and their leaves get bigger and bigger. And if you have them vining, they'll do just the same, except they'll vine down, and they're going to go a long way. If you give them that bright light, like, watch them go. They're crazy. The other thing I like about them is there's so many different variations. I mean, as you can see here, obviously I have a pink one. To be honest, like, I don't even really know all their names. You guys, you could be at naming Syngoniums all day long. I know this one is like the Alba variegata, so it's like, you know, variegated white. No idea. Sometimes this one looks really full green. Sometimes it has, I don't know if you're going to be able to catch that. It's kind of far away. The pink stripe down the middle. This one sometimes turns like a bronzy color. And then sometimes it has a strange little pink leaf. I don't know, you guys. If you know which ones I have, if that's your jam, let me know, because I would love to know what these names are. But what I do know is their care. And the care is going to be the same for all of them. So really, you want to allow these things, because they're aroids, you want to allow them to dry out, like I said. Oh, now wait, I need to think about something. I'm gonna pot these up together because they're both kind of the same height. So we'll repot this one, this no-name plant. Oops, that's gonna fall down. Okay. Oh, this one's not very root bound either. But I'm still gonna pot it. Well, am I gonna pot it up? Am I gonna pot it up? Maybe this one was double potted. So it's kind of like almost the same size, but not the same size. So I'm just actually, I don't want to give these ones too much room. They don't mind being a little bit root bound. So I'm gonna put this little guy aside and I'm gonna pot it up in here just with some fresh soil. So I am going to remove, ooh, look at how easy that's falling off. That's how you know it's time for some new soil, because I just watered these, oh, just a couple days ago, and it's already really, really dry. So I am going to give this some fresh soil and it's gonna be so much happier. As I said, these guys will grow in just about any lighting condition, which makes it just a really easy house plant to have. Now, ideally, I should have been doing this over a different pot, but whatever. Okay, so now we've got a little root structure. Do you see I've kind of really taken the soil out, which is fine. It's going to be just fine. These guys are so hardy. It's going to be so much happier. Okay, so which size am I going to use? I'm going to use this bigger one. So they'll go in any light condition, and they actually don't need too much water. These are one of those plants that I feel like their care is very similar to pothos and philodendron. You can really kind of lay off on the water. They want to dry out in between, and they're just going to grow for you. Obviously, if you give them more light, the better. They're just going to do so much better for you, but they're super, super easy, and they're super beautiful. All right, so that, I mean, it's pretty simple. I'm wanting to make sure, I'm gonna give it like a little tap because there's kind of some air pockets in there. I don't necessarily want the air to be, like, I don't want there to be huge air pockets around those roots that I expose. So I'm just making sure that the soil all kind of settles in there. I'm just kind of tapping it gently and holding the roots up so they kind of, the soil kind of settles underneath there. And then I'm just kind of tucking it in, not too tight. Give it a little more soil. And that one is ready to go. Okay, I found a pot. I was short a larger pot. So we can plant up the other two in this big one. And it's kind of tall, but it's gonna be fine. The only problem is gonna be like, where do I find a cash pot to fit this? But you know, that's for another day. So if you were only planning to get some Syngoniums for your lower light condition, I would go with a darker variety. The lighter ones really need more light, but the darker varieties can tolerate a darker corner. And that's kind of true for most variegated plants. Not all, but most. So in this situation, that's definitely what you want to focus on. This pink one, you can see, it was bright, bright pink when I first got it. I mean, all the leaves were like this color and darker, and now they've kind of slowly faded into a more of a dusty color, and some are like even really turning pretty green, and that's just because I didn't have it in optimal light conditions. This one is gonna like bright, indirect light, and I just had them all together, and it was like, you know, better for some than others, but I'm not worried about it. I think it's cute, and I'm sure it'll go back to some bright indirect light at some point, since all the plants in my house seem to move around quite a bit. They seem to move around quite a bit, as if they like get up and move on their own. I move them around quite a bit. When you water Syngoniums, you want to be sure that you're obviously watering thoroughly. You want to wet the root ball. You want to make sure it drains out the bottom. Slowly water. As I say for all plants, slowly water them, let it come out the bottom, and then you really do just want to let it dry out. I mentioned that before. Make sure the water is completely gone from the top 2 inches of soil or so. You poke your finger in there, make sure it's dry before you water again, because they are susceptible to root rot. And I let mine get pretty dry, and they will let you know. They will start to be a little bit dramatic. They will start to kind of fall down and wilt a little, but they perk right back up. You don't want to do that all the time. You don't want to take your plants to critical dryness every time, but if you miss a watering, that's what it's going to look like. So if you aren't planning on it already, you see them a little sad, they'll perk right back up after you give them a drink. And these guys are tropical plants, so obviously they are from a high humidity area, and I mean, optimally, if you can give them high humidity, please do. It really helps them to not lose as much water through their leaves. But if you can't, they're probably not going to complain too much. Oh, my friends. Yeah, this guy was ready. That's when you know. Right there. See all those roots circling? It means it's ready to go. I'm going to remove some of that top soil too. This one also was not holding water very well. So we're gonna get rid of that soil and give it fresh. And I'm gonna kind of, I'm sure you've seen this, but I'm just going to lightly and loosely kind of unravel some of these bottom roots to show them that they don't have to grow. Oops, that one left me. That they don't have to grow together like this. They can be free. Be free, roots. Be free. Okay. Now, just stay there. Where was I? Humidity. So if you don't have a high humidity situation, that's fine. Just be sure that you're watching the soil a little bit more. I have a high humidity house, and I do run a humidifier when I need to, but if you don't, that's okay. Just check on it. But if you don't have a high humidity situation, that's totally fine. Just be checking on it so it doesn't dry out more. If there's not high humidity, the leaves are going to respirate faster, so they're gonna lose the water through their leaves, and so they're just gonna be using up more of the water that's in the soil. So you just kind of wanna keep your eye on it. You just might have to give them a drink more often. Okay, so this plant, this last one, it's this variegated, this elbow variegated. It's totally a wild card. I've had it, I don't know, 4 or 5 months, and it hasn't done a single thing. It hasn't done a thing. So I am just curious what is going on in here. It's the only one that's in terracotta. Maybe it's drying out faster than the others. I try to watch it, but we'll see. We'll see what's going on with the roots under here. Oh, that's nice. It's got okay roots. Okay, there's some like nice long roots here. So I think it's gonna be okay. Maybe it was just getting used to its new surroundings. Maybe it was a fresh cutting when I got it. So now it's just kind of slowly starting to get adjusted. So, but they look really nice together. You guys, I'm surprised you didn't vote for this. Come on now, come on now. The only really bummer I have found about these, and it's not a big deal for my house, but they are toxic. So if you have, you know, animals that chew on plants, or that you have children that chew on plants. I have children and animals, but none of them chew on plants, thank God. They're fine for me, but you just want to be careful. Obviously, you know, use caution, put them up high, or don't have them in your house if that's what you choose. Okay, that looks good. That looks good. Look at those friends together. I think that looks great. I mean, these plants are just really forgiving, which makes them super fun for experimenting, for propagating them, for taking them out in the summer so that they can grow. I mean, mind the sun. They don't want any direct sunlight. You could definitely burn the foliage, but in a shady spot, these things will really grow big. If you live in zone 10 or above, you could leave them out, which I might consider leaving some out. I'm not sure. I'm running out of outdoor room, so we'll see. But they're just super forgiving plants, so you can experiment with them. You can let them climb. You can let them vine. You can change it up. You can take a vining into a climbing, or vice versa. They're really, if you're a beginner, these are such an awesome plant to start with, because you can't, I mean, you could kill them, but it's really hard. Can you see why they're my favorite? Have I convinced you to get on the Syngonium bandwagon? I hope that was helpful, and if I didn't cover anything, which is likely, I felt a little disorganized today, let me know in the comments below, and I will definitely get back to you. But look what we did here. We turned 4 into 3. I think that was a good, oh, can you see it? I turned 4 into 3. I think that's a good compromise. And, you know, one on the way. I'm over on Instagram throughout the week, so check me out over there. My stories, my feed is full of tips and tricks for you for your plants. I love to help you keep your plants alive. Go ahead and follow me over there. And if you need help with just the basics of plant care, you definitely want to check out my series I have on here, How to Keep Plants Alive. I cover soil, I cover watering, I cover light, I cover just the real basics that are going to help you get a handle on plant care for any plant, and then you can just go from there. Thanks for being here, you guys. I'm so happy you're here with me. I'm so grateful, and I will see you next week.